seneti kwa mwanga tariko genda ande onsi yemaga ya MCA be bunge iyo kwa mwanga akwisiko gwetrase engane yibaiti ya sebunge no mweli oye kwira sebunge ya seneti ya chaka gukwanirwa litukolia lero asigikale kiyo yekirona nabo bunge bonsi gosikire kurunga plenary igo aba igo gitangani cyane cyo kumusarana egatia ba seneta gosengane yonko genderere gukwanirwa egende busyo gosetangwe asikirie watebanga tekerene tirichiko kolengana na balia baringe kumwegerera umugavana Nyaribo turigire chinkwana cyaba seneta.
There might be issues, and indeed listening, because I happen to come from the region, and I know that there are many things. Remember, Mr. Speaker, in this House, we've entertained and even listened and tried to reconcile two factions of the same county assembly that were sitting in separate parts of the county, Mr. Speaker. That tells you that there is a problem in that county. But before we get there, Mr. Speaker, we unfortunately must ask ourselves whether this matter is properly before us as a House. That is a question and the import of this motion. And makes the point every day that we must remind the executive, we must remind our county assemblies that we cannot make law, because that is primarily what we do in this House, and then lead the way in violation of the law, unfortunately, Mr. Speaker. And as such, Mr. Speaker, when a matter such as this appears before us, we must be satisfied that indeed there was proper procedure that has been followed. For
both parties are not in agreement. In Kerichoma 1, we all remember, both parties were in agreement about the number of MCAs who had participated. For your information, leader of the majority, if you go by the presentation by the governor, it means 23.3 people voted, which we round to 24. But if you go by the persuasive argument by the county assembly, it means in the absence of those three, only 21.3 people voted, rounding it.
It again. Mr. Speaker, I asked lawyer Kato Kigen a question, and I wanted to learn from him. I'm afraid I did not learn a lot. At what point does a membership of an assembly determine? Mr. Speaker, you cannot tell me that a constitutional and legal requirement is a moving target. That becomes very tricky. That becomes very, very tricky, Mr. Speaker. Because then what it means is this. It means that because us as a Senate, we vote as 24 delegations, if there is a vacancy in one delegation, then we must lower the threshold for voting. It means, Mr. Speaker, because the requirement for a presidential election is at least 24 counties, then if for some reason one of the counties does not participate, then we should lower that threshold. Mr. Speaker, I am sure, and I will still need to talk to legal counsel at some point outside this chamber to understand how legal requirements can be moving targets that we keep. Okungusarano ko kwa baseneta ni ko kwarenge igoro nga ibere igoro ya isato ya ababunge gusaba MCA be county ya Nyamira nigo ya wenete kubarwa asaba MCA 35 wenete ko basebungeria gusina ba MCA 32 nyuranga wikengaki umuswada buko mwaka isikonya libo ringe wetigwa kwenye aba MCA batatu mbari ngaroro asinge nchibiro byabo igo byatigirete busa kiriye nsemu ya Nyamaiya Nyansiongo na Monese Merie Kerenyo na igo abaseneta bange barwa ibirengere byabo bakora no museneta we county ya Kisii
umuske Onyonka amunoliwe county ya Nyamira umuske Okongo omugeni.
Members of the County Assembly have constantly disagreed over the issues in Nyamira, and on several occasions different individuals have been blamed for the issues that have been happening and the things that have been happening in Nyamira. I don't want to spend a lot of time explaining those things. Mr. Speaker, even when that is a very complex and maybe completely political issue which needs to be sorted out, I stand and defend my positions based on the law. If the law is what we have decided to follow as a people who want good governance and administration, who want to provide services to their people, then, Mr. Speaker, we really have to agree that we are going to follow the law. My wish would have been that we listen to all the charges that have been brought, but then that means that we would have preempted the discussions about the issues of the PO and indeed the rest of this case. My suggestion would be, if members of this House feel that the threshold was not reached, then we accept that as a position. And the problem that I was unable to interrogate, Mr. Speaker, was that in Nyamira, there were 3 members of the County Assembly who were not there when these elections were taking place. Not the ones who traveled, but there are about 3, I think 2 were having by-elections the other day, and 1, I think, had passed on. And they had not been at the Assembly for close to 2 years. So what many people were asking me as I was sitting here is, the fact that these people who've been at the County Assembly have only been 23, what does it mean? My worry is, if you are going to impeach Mr. Nyaribo with 21 or 22 members of the County Assembly, and this House convicts, there's a likelihood the court will actually refuse to convict. And Mr. Speaker, what I would want to encourage my colleagues here is that let us follow the law and make a decision whether that law is good or bad. My point, Mr. Speaker, is that we have set precedent, and the precedent is there on Kericho 1, there's precedent on Kericho 2, and all that precedence does exist. But I also, Mr. Speaker, wanted to mention that I was very impressed with Katwa Kigen's argument that when you have those people, if they are 21 or 22 in the County Assembly, does the law actually allow them to then vote because they're the ones who are sitting there, or can they then even vote through proxy and continue making the arguments they're making? So my argument, Mr. Speaker, is that if the law, which is that the threshold should have been 24 members of the County Assembly, and that threshold was not arrived at, then
and the interests of my governor. Just Speaker, having sat the whole morning and this afternoon, I have no doubt that the matter before you is fairly complex, but it requires Solomonic wisdom. If we are not careful, Mr. Speaker, we may end up damaging the reputation of this House. In 2013, Mr. Speaker, Chief Justice Mutunga was faced with an application by the late Prime Minister Raila Odinga to introduce evidence before the court to be heard before the Supreme Court before a decision is made. Raila Odinga was denied that chance. Up to today, Chief Justice Mutunga has not recovered. I think, Mr. Speaker, if we were to apply some delicate balance and make a decision that is just, a decision that is measured, a decision that is creative in ensuring that we are seen to be a house that dispenses justice, let us allow members of the County Assembly, can you add me? Oh, sorry. Let us allow members of the County Assembly to present their case, Mr. Speaker, they be heard, and then the senators will be given an opportunity to pass a verdict, Mr. Speaker.
Maega yokungusano ko kwa baseneta iguru mubaro obene ubwenete kumwaka isiko kumurusyaroro omugavana Nyaribo koera nigo omo bunge wesomo speaker we bunge ya seneti Amos Nyaribo arori baga ababunge abo waka chikura na inyoranga ekero omuswado yoeti wase bunge ya Nyamira abaye musieme rongebere na batatu no bagete kura ku mwaka isiko Nyaribo asigorende okungusana kwa machikone kiwanga mbale bagote bangamba rwete ibaga wakirwa achikura asiri baga gusaba ngao wakiru chikura batayo nabo igo asebo igo okungusana kwa ngi gorunga ibere igoro yeshato yabaye musieme rongeto na batano angani ngo babonete ko babaye musieme rongebere na bane natali emerongebere na batatu na muri yakire achikura ichiakwa omo speaker Amos Nyaribo onyara kuroma chibu na kwene kinga Nyaribo tariko ndande
38 votes, nays 4 votes, abstention 0. So the ayes have it. Now, honorable senators, I have a communication to make regarding the effect of the vote on the motion on the preliminary objection. Now, honorable senators, the motion having been approved, the hearing on the proposed removal from office by impeachment of Honorable Amos Nyaribo, Governor of Nyamira County, is hereby terminated. Further, as you will recall, the Senate at the sitting held on Tuesday, 2nd December 2025, resolved to alter its hours of meeting on Wednesday, 3rd December 2025 and Thursday, 4th December 25 in order to investigate the proposed removal from office by impeachment of the Governor of Nyamira County. In these exceptional circumstances and pursuant to Standing Order 1, I direct the clerk to circulate a further supplementary order paper containing a procedural motion on the hours of sitting for tomorrow, Thursday 4th.
Ono tiga turigererie egatia mocho ayo muskenya libaringe komo chigwana ba MCA bunge county Nyamira kuirera okurusi wa kwa yabisi aba MCA woni go mocheti asa mochabere elimo lirelio kubuna lichi ko gose katiba nabo igo elio ko na mamincha nesiko yobisi yae asa mochayo onse litangani go liarenge ogoeti nabo igo wanchera okobaro ogwa bunge mashinani gose bikaro byaringe okolekana mashinani bya MCA yaringe mamincha yelichiko nabo igo asogwanchira oweti owe budget yo mwaka o 2024 iyo yaitatiwe na bunge mashinani yeta ikereti elichiko nabo igo wali komochia ase okomwemeremo Dr. Paris Nyaboke Oroko oina indo kwa Paris Mongale buna omwaziri we county iyo mamincha elichiko mugabana Nyaribo igo nigange komochiwa ase ogochora na kobeka ba member be municipal board elia ye county Nyamira nabo igo e town ya Keroka waigongo mochiwarenge ase ogoetia na kubachora aba member be committee gose board yeli kulika bakori mirimo be county ya Nyamira gose county public service board na waigo nigo waigo bakomocha aso komochora omunyakerogo omuliki amona ba member be board yeyu yokulika bakori mirimo be county ya Nyamira limocholinde elinya libanenge komochiwa ngamo noko mochinga county assembly nigo yari ko mochinga iga sinyetwe gosetanya wikarana se bikaro binde byonse byebunge ryo gukwanira ebunge iyo asigiriye ko nga state of the county address na kurechiro boti cyakiro mwaka wige bunge county Nyamira yari ko mochi mugavana ase ogotagwatiri chiko gose wikiraniyo guchika wekigambiro igoro yoko wemeremo gwa Clive Wora una omuwaziri bwe county ya Nyamira asensemo yoko na mamincha ne esiko ye obisi yaye gose abuse of office mugavana Nyaribo niganike ko mochikwa ase oko lika bakolemeremo agwo batayiri e budget gose ari kulika bakolemeremo lakini budget yetayo yoko ba emeshara boyige gotebekananga igaringi gosona no kuliko ko bakolemeremo ase county iyo na akuyirera aboigo gosona na nonyani nchira bari kuliko no wako nemeshara chibesi ichigotebekani chinde chiaringi kuika ase mibuko yaye ensemo nayo boigo nigako mochikwa ase oko moseri emeremo oyorengo muliki bwe ebodi elyo kulika bakolemeremo pe county ya Nyamira. Murigarare nigongo cyokwa ribaga lyabene kuigwe nkwana yo mugavana Amos Nyaribo ya kwanire keke ya itire mayaga ye bunge ya seneti wetinga tariko yanda ndi gusikumurusire mu machayi abekeretwe ne bunge ye county ya Nyamira asago kerige tambukerekyo na kuliyere guchikwendera ko limirimo emiya gucyase abanyamira.
Lero iga Jumatano tarehe 3 ndwabwate sitting ye seneti. Seneti yagambire korumambia wakabona iga saa 3 onere karibu saa 3 yarue uamuzi kwamba ekina nkiabe yotwenjere ndonge iga mang'ananda ya masitaka atubiriwa mbali iga nkoboria abantu baitu banyamira tababa mamuno monto yomo totige bitina totigo kogengwa atoko uchisomoni chinke naende uchimotwe kimuranjirane nje ninde tayari okore gase na inwe mwambe keire impeachment kabere eneri ya gatatu naende asenge njongeire gasi yoko bwatania abantu banyamira nana wachegionde bwensi ase yaikere bono mbuya musu nogoto mumanye no mokene no bwatirigwa mwaigure igo jakera bono nje ninde tayari tubwaterane ase nje abantu banyamira no ti ase nje bocheuri bwaino igo ndokwa na mange.
Hii shida ambayo tumeletewa na assembly, tumeletewa na wanasiasa, tunashukuru sana kwanza kumba gavana wetu amepita. Na kama gavana wetu amepita, hizi siku 2-3 ndio tumeona marafiki wa gavana ni akina nani. Mimi mwenyewe kwanza nishukuru wale wote watu wa Nyamira ambao tumeshirikiana nao. Pia nimshukuru gavana mwenzetu gavana Simba Arati ambaye tumeshirikiana na yeye. Na ni muhimu sana kwa sisi watu wa Nyamira na watu wa Kisii tunataka peace ikue ndio maendeleo ifanyike. Alafu pia kwenda mbele tuambia assemblies kama mnafanya impeachment lazima mfuate sheria.
We want to thank the Senate for upholding the rule of law and the tenets of constitutionalism. It was very clear, as we had indicated, that this motion of impeachment did not meet the threshold. And the threshold I'm talking about is the 2/3 threshold, which is provided for under Section 33 of the County Government Act. This issue of threshold and the element of removal of a governor from office, I will say it is sui generis. It is unique on its own, unlike any other motions that are passed at the County Assembly, which in most cases will be a third or majority of the third of the members in the County Assembly. And this is a very good precedence that has been set. Much as the Senate didn't delve into the issues of proxy, we have highlighted, and you could feel that the element of proxy does not exist in the Kenyan laws. So we want to really thank the Senate, and we are very happy that they have agreed with us and they have upheld the integrity and supremacy of the Constitution. Thank you so much.
aseri tukoria lero tore no mogoko asengenjo amangana akorekana ali assembly ya itutarenga amangana yo maene njebuna nyangana naringe tiari kumira na barobu gekogera ekura tingageti ebachite bakafuchi siri gacha yane baka ngakira wonu gekera na ngoteba yonta eteko una nachite polisi ngobwata no musiko geto egera ngerese nkia ko ngakire kura na ende na mutomete
tina so broad based na the broad based tadi yongo ya ojo ine youths babo soro no jenda egento kiare ngonek aswa nkoragera na bantu bane bagaja timati ngo bagere sim bagaisanzo karagera amo igonto abwata manganande ndokwandia mangane seneti ndokwandia mangana broad based na endese kaba na broad based to kwana ngete ngo kwana no manyene pati okorwa William Ruto osewari watene chipati tadi ebi mura na bingo amara birabya elia kabere yonte nena botamu ngo kwana obo mobusi ekauri yane tego change na ende neba ne pati ekoruo mwerekeo yongo sasa ne pati ne bwata organs twagamba na ntwa consult n'abantu baito twamenya ko mubuji moti otherwise iwabo linkeyo ekiarangega netyo